What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jaron Ikner here with another review for Star Trek TV. Doing it in a different location. This is a late night review. We got the crystals in the background and the affirmations on the wall. This is a different area of the house. Anyways, I want to pop on here real quick to talk about Big Sean's new album, Detroit 2. I will first start off by saying I really did not like Big Sean when he came out as an artist when he first started off. I thought that he was kind of corny. I thought his bars were remedial. I thought that he was immature. I thought that as an artist, he just wasn't complete, and that he had a very long way to go to reach that level of completeness overall. Over the course of his career, I've definitely grown to like this man a lot. Dark Sky Paradise is one of my favorite albums in recent years. I was really disappointed to hear that he backed out of Kanye's run to drop the 7 trackers. I heard that he was going through some bouts of depression, relationship issues. There's also the death of Naya Rivera. All these things really kind of culminated into this album, and as a result, I'm very, very, very happy with the growth that Big Sean has displayed on this album. Lyrically speaking, it's probably his most potent and most insightful lyrics that he's ever spat in his career. I know more about Big Sean. I've learned some things about him. He's not just talking about ass and titties on every track. Matter of fact, I don't really think he talks about that on this album at all. Not to say that there's not like club bangers on here. And the production of this album is actually very, very strong. Except for the last couple tracks, which we'll get into later. I think that might be Big Sean's best album overall. I might have to go back and listen to Dark Sky Paradise. But this might be Big Sean's best album of his career, simply because he's really focused. One thing I really like about this album too is the fact that there's a theme behind it. The city of Detroit is throughout the entire album. If you know me well enough, I'm all about putting on the city, and this album does a good job. He has cameos from Erykah Badu, Stevie Wonder, Dave Chappelle, and they talk about their experiences in Detroit, and it's beautiful. I really wish that more artists would do this, kind of talk about where they're from, how they got there, where they're trying to be. So shout out to Big Sean for that. I think that there's a few missteps on this album. There's one track in particular where it sounds like a love song, but he's talking about haters. I don't remember the name of it. I don't have the track list in front of me. I thought it was kind of funny because like the girl on the track, she's rapping about love and singing about love, and then Big Sean comes on and is talking about haters. And it's like, probably should rewrite that one. But let's talk about the Cypher track. So on the Cypher track, it features basically every rapper from Detroit that's kind of popping right now. Not all of them though. And I think a couple rappers, at least one rapper in particular that was missing that should have been on this cypher is Elzai, who's probably one of the best Detroit lyricists of all time, ever. Also, who chose this sorry ass beat? That's a Kodak Black reference. Shout out to Double XL. The beats on that cypher track were just terrible, fam. They're just bad. I don't know who did the beats on them, and I'm sure someone's gonna rip me apart in the comment section over this. But I really did not like the production on the final cypher track, especially after hearing this album of great song production and all these great beats, and then you get to the cypher track and it sounded very remedial. It sounded like the producer was brand new or someone who just didn't know how to handle all these dope ass rappers. I really wish they would have got Black Milk. If you're not aware of the Detroit hip hop history, Black Milk's probably one of the best producers in Detroit hip hop history. I wish he would have did it. And maybe he did. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't checked production credits on here, but I was sorely disappointed with the beats. Lyrically, cool. Everybody did their thing. Eminem kind of spit another nonsense verse that he kind of does. Not nonsense, but Eminem just being Eminem. I'm going to have to listen to it again because what's interesting about it is the fact that Eminem's verse is longer than everybody else's. Big Sean is just paying ode to Eminem. But what's interesting about this is that a lot of people who are on this track do not like Eminem. So I'm really curious to know as to what the politics were and as how this track even transpired to begin with. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed in this cypher track. I think that they really should have got some badass production. They should have got Jay Dilla on the beat, maybe buy an old Jay Dilla beat. They could have got Black Milk. Maybe they could have got both of them together to create something. But I think that this was a big misstep on this album, because I just couldn't get into the ciphers because the beats were just so terrible. And if you guys are watching, I'm sure Big Sean's not watching this video, but just something to think about. Because production-wise, this album is solid. There's a track on there with Hit Boy. I guess Hit Boy's trying to rap now. He drops a couple of verses on there. Young Thug's on the album. Travis Scott. Anderson .Paak. It's a very star-studded album, which I think is probably one of my biggest issues with this album is the fact that I wish there were more solo songs on this track, on this album. I mean, but to be fair, this album is like 20 songs, I believe, or maybe 19 songs, and I think he has like 7 solo songs on there. So we get enough Big Sean to where it's palpable, but it is also extremely feature heavy. And I'm not really mad at that per se because this is Big Sean's first album in a couple years, and you got to go hard. It makes sense from a studio standpoint. Artistically, it works well too. Although I kind of wished, since the album was Detroit too, that it featured only Detroit artists. We have features from like Post Malone and Young Thug on there who just simply aren't from Detroit, but it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things because the album's still great. But thematically speaking, those are the small missteps. The cipher beats were just not good. I just couldn't mess with them. And whoever did beats on that, you can at me. We can talk about it, but do better next time. Anyways. But yeah, overall, this album's great. Probably Big Sean's best album of his career, next to Dark Sky Paradise. It's on that same tier, in my opinion. And I'm very excited to see what else he can do, man, because Big Sean seems to be tapping into the potential that I really wanted to see from him. So I'm very excited to see what we get from Big Sean moving forward. So it's interesting that Kanye West did executive produce this album. It means that the relationship's still good. And I really think that when Kanye does kind of step in and help Big Sean curate, we get the best version of him. That's what happened with Dark Sky Paradise. That's what happened with this album. And yeah, I'm very excited to hear what he has next, because if he can stay in his pocket, he can wind up being one of the greatest of his generation. He already is, but for me, the biggest issue comes down to the fact that Big Sean, in his growth process, even though he's shown growth on every album, we needed to see leaps and bounds on this album, and I do think he delivered lyrically. So, but let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, leave a comment in the section. I'll read them. Probably won't respond to y'all. Maybe. We'll see. But that's how it goes. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. We got more videos coming up. Thank y'all for watching. It's your boy, the kid. Peace out. Woo!